just really proud of our guys. Obviously it's an important game. Season's on the line. These guys came out and got us off to a great start, and then, we had to weather some storms. And give Utah State a lot of credit. They create a lot of adversity. Switching defenses, and you kind of throw you out of your rhythm on offense a little bit. We weren't as good in the second half of getting the ball inside. And just obviously had too many turnovers. And, they kind of amped up their pressure and their press, so I'm going to give them credit. But our guys did a good job in there, and you just kind of hang in there. And if you have a little lead, you just kind of need to make one or two plays in a timely fashion, and then you can kind of ride the game out. And obviously, Braden's three, was pretty big time. And then JB had some great, drives and foul pressure, down the stretch of that last 10 minutes. And I thought Koa was really special in the first half, and then kind of had to deal with some foul trouble. So really proud of our guys. Excited that we get another opportunity to play next week.
All right, questions for the student athletes, and make sure you say which one you want to talk to.
Gorwara with The Athletic. For Koa and Jaden, can you guys just talk about what makes Braden so just sort of like chill, like so unflappable? It doesn't feel like he gets nerves. He's a freshman. Like, what is he like from what you guys see?
He's very mature for his age, and for a freshman. You look at him, you'll never know the score. If he's having a great game, having a rough game. Just kudos to him. He's having a great season. Offensively, he's the team's worst nightmare. Shooter from all three levels, can defend. So he's definitely a great piece to have.
Gabby Chernoff, Cronkite News. For all three of you, how does playing in a conference like the Big 12 all season long kind of prepare you for the resiliency that you guys had to face tonight?
I think honestly, it helps us a lot. I think the Big 12 is one of the best conferences out there. It prepares us, physically, mentally, through adversity and stuff, because you're playing a great team night in and night out. So just shout out to the Big 12. Maybe you gonna say something?
You wanted all three to address that question, or?
KP?
Yeah, I'll just say it's huge for us, especially last week. We had 3 tough games back to back to back. So I think that definitely helped us, leading into this tournament. And, the Big 12 is, the best conference in college basketball, so it definitely got us prepared for this moment.
Haziel Richardson, the Daily Wildcat. Koa, you were having a great night on the rebounding side of the ball. What were you seeing, at least from the trajectories or maybe from the angles that were helping you find and track down those rebounds tonight?
Honestly, just trying to be like Tobe, man. I look up to him. He's a beast on the glass, and coach is always on my butt about rebounding, so I was just trying to get on the glass today and stay active.
Any other questions for the student athletes?
Will Chanel with the Daily Wildcat. And Jaden, how are you able to stay calm, cool, and collected when the team continuously goes to you down the stretch when the pressure ramps up?
Just trusting in my work, and I know my teammates believe in me. I got great bigs that can get me open with ball screens and duck-ins and all that stuff, and my teammates give me great space. Just trusting in my work and trying to get to my spots and make plays.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Congratulations. And we'll continue on with Coach Lloyd.
Brian Peterson with AZ Desert Swarm. Coach, when Utah State started going to the press and it was working and they were getting a lot of turnovers, did you sense in any way that your team might have started to feel a little rattled, and if you'd seen that at all this year?
For sure, it got us back on our heels a little bit, and I just think our guys got to do a little bit better job of figuring it out, and I was kind of negotiating my timeouts in my head, how I wanted to manage it, what the point differential was. I trust our guys to find solutions all the time, and they kind of amped up the heat on the press a little bit. I don't think our spacing was great. I think our initial thrust wasn't great, and that's something that, hey, it's not easy to do. I know everyone on the periphery, it thinks it should be easy to do. It's not. And when you have a desperate team amping up the pressure, and the jump ball's in their favor and they're aggressive, it's hard. It's hard. So our guys did a better job settling it down there the last couple minutes. But for sure, and then, they're a pressing team. They press a lot, and they give you different variations of the press. Sometimes it's soft. Sometimes it's a harder press with early traps. So, they do a good job keeping you on your heels.
Hey, Coach Mark Reno with the Utah Statesman. Utah State has been pretty vocal this week about feeling like they're underseeded at a 9 seed, felt like they should have been more in the 7 or 6 range. You guys have played one of the toughest schedules in the country. Just compared to, the Big 12 teams you've played, other high major teams that you've played, do you think that they have merit to that argument, and how do they
for sure. I don't get, like I said, I'm not a guy that gets into the weeds on all that stuff, but that's a really good basketball team. If they were a 5 or a 6 seed, I wouldn't have been surprised. If you win the Mountain West regular season and tournament, I think that's a pretty powerful statement, and we felt it out there today. It's a team that had no quit, and they kept coming, and they made timely plays and timely shots on both ends of the floor.
Gorwara with The Athletic. Coach, can you speak to Braden as well and just what makes him so, level-headed, especially being a freshman?
Well, I think Braden's a winner, and he has ultimate confidence. And, it's been a joy to coach him. He's a really, you've hit the nail on the head. He's a laid-back, kind of unassuming guy, but he has a killer in him, and that's a beautiful attribute. There's nothing wrong with being a great human being off the court and being a killer on the court, and he definitely has that combination. And I honestly, when he had that ball in his hands at the end, I was trying to figure out ways. Obviously, I wanted it in JB's hands, too. But when Braden had that last possession that ended up kind of deep in the clock, I felt pretty good about it. I know he has an ability to make those shots and get good arc on them, and I also felt pretty good if we get it up and don't turn it over, we can rebound. I think we had 22 offensive rebounds, and obviously, that's a key component to our success as well.
Have you seen him ever get riled up, and if so, how does he do that?
Yeah, listen, he's a normal 19-year-old guy. He's had moments where he's had to learn, and even today, I had to kind of explain to him after the game. He picked up 2 unfortunate fouls. I probably maybe should have subbed him, but he hit it 3 right away, and I'm thinking, okay, I've seen this act from Braden, and he can get hot pretty quick. And then we were kind of managing like a 10-point lead. For most of the second part of that first half. So I just didn't – I thought his foul was more valuable to keep him on the bench and save for 3 fouls for the second half if we had a lead. And so I knew he was tough enough to handle me kind of taking his rhythm away from him because I just wanted to win the game. And I know he wanted to play, and I'm sure he could convince me that he could play without fouling. But, crazy things happen in these games. And, my worst nightmare was he picks up his 3rd, and then early in the second half he picks up his 4th. Now it really hurts us. So I was kind of making a decision for the long run, trying to win the game, and I appreciate him hanging with it.
David Meridian with Camp Student Radio. Coach, big picture question. This will be your 4th time in 5 seasons going to the Sweet 16, but your coaching style is subtle. You think about Rick Pitino, who was standing in the same spot as you a few hours ago. He's a little bit more demonstrative during the games, but clearly you have something working. So what is it about your style that you think has been effective for the program?
I think one, look at my mentor. He's pretty cool, calm and collected, Mark Few. So obviously when you're with a guy for 22 years, you learn a lot by osmosis, just how he handles himself. And the other thing, I think what's really cool about coaching in basketball is there's so many different styles. And I think the most important thing is just to be your authentic self. And, I don't want to be a guy that's constantly yelling and screaming and nagging. It's just not kind of who I am. So, I want to coach to my personality because I think, these players, they know truth. They know truth. And they're great judges of character, these young guys are. So, I think for me to have the best long-term success with them is to be honest with them, have relationships, and be myself. So, it's not much more complicated than that.
Gabby Chernoff, Cronkite News. You were kind of getting the fans going multiple times tonight. What does it mean to just have that volume, and what do they do out there for you?
It's important. I thought I was thinking this morning I should have did a preemptive strike. We need our fans in these environments to be proactive. we don't need our fans to be reactive and get nervous when the game gets tight. I mean, we know how bad our fans want it for us. So I was hoping they would come and participate, and I thought they did a really good job participating. And then hopefully we'll have even a stronger contingent at San Jose, and they're going to be there, fighting and pulling us through every step of the way.
Tommy Marksick with San Diego Union Tribune. This is the second straight year no mid-majors are in the Sweet 16. What are your thoughts on that, and is it damaging to the overall tournament March Madness concept?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really great question and a deep question, and we could probably go a lot of different directions with it. I think look where I came from. I came from a program that was a mid-major program that made itself into a major program, and I think that parity is great for the game, but things change. And I think once finances become part of it, there's going to be a breaking point for some of the lesser programs that just don't have the finances. And I think that's just a obvious statement. So I mean, there's lots of reasons I took the Arizona job. And one of them was kind of forecasting these changes happening, because right when I was getting the job, the NIL deal was rumored, and then it started in July, and I figured Arizona's a place that has a pretty strong, long basketball tradition, and they're going to be excited to invest in basketball, and we have. So I'm thankful for where I am, but I think that's a great question, and I don't have a great answer for you on how to fix it. So let's just leave it at that. But that's a great observation by you.
Dakota Gray here from the Daily Aztec. Great win today, but obviously things are going to get tougher from here on out. Based on today's game, what do you think you guys have to improve on the most moving forward?
I just think, managing segments in the game when you have a lead would be great. I think, what did we get up, 16 or something? I mean, something like that, 16, 18? Yeah, I mean, can you make the next run? And I know that's so easy to say and hard to do, but sometimes if you can make that next run, get up to 23, 24, you can kind of break a team's will. But that team hung with it today. They were impressive. They had answers for everything, and they hit a bunch of timely shots, and I'm sure they feel like they missed some timely shots, or a call or two didn't go their way. I mean, that's how the game goes sometimes. So, I respected Utah State a lot going into this game, and they did nothing but reinforce that, for me.
Final question right here.
Coach, you've mentioned a couple times this season about how much Mo has improved on the offensive end, but the defensive ability to do that, alter shots and whatnot without fouling. I mean, how big of a jump did he make in that area?
I mean, it's massive. I mean, he's been a game changer for us defensively, and I know, a lot of the analytic gurus out there studied it probably more than I have. I just know I feel good when he's on the court. He's got great instincts, great, Mo stands for mobility, at 7'2", and he does a great job contesting shots up high, and then he does a great job getting those short little rebounds that come around the basket. Those are really hard to get when you're up vertical contesting a shot to be able to have good enough hands to get those rebounds. I need his jump hook to start going in a little bit more. So we'll talk about that this week, because I know he can be a force and really control these games at both ends of the floor.